anymore. I forgot how to do it.
Well, that's good.
I'm like an old man now. Hey, everybody, we're back. It's Steve Euchrin,
I think it's
writer
just,
of Steve Euchrin's. Wait, have you not heard this?
That's right. I don't even have a
this?
copy by that I could hold up. How dumb is that? But you can get it on dorkcourt.com if you go to the store. It is on there. I recommend grabbing one if you can.
Yes, Marco Lopez has one coming towards him right now. I understand.
He should. I don't know when they said it would be there, but it will definitely be on the way. So.
It's coming towards him.
Yes.
Right? Hey, Chuck Gilbert, there you are. Sorry, Chuck. Yeah, we went to San Diego and kind of forgot how to do this. Star Trek stopped doing it, so we stopped doing the Star Trek thing. I am wearing my Enterprise shirt though.
There you go. I like it.
Yeah, I love Star Trek. What do you want to talk about? Like, you want to go through San Diego? Like, how fun that was?
Yeah, I think we should go through. Like, I wanted to say I haven't done this yet, but I'm going to tonight. I'm going to go through our old dork courts and see which dork court we talked about Robert Downey Jr. being Dr. Doom.
Oh yeah, I know you were on that in early June.
I normally because I write down like topics of things to talk about, and I'm trying to think of where I called that out. I definitely, but we talked about it. I know we did.
Yeah, it was one of the first ones in June.
Okay,
I'm sure of it because I posted it on Facebook like right when you said it, and I think that was around my sister's birthday, which was June 11th.
Okay, that makes sense.
Somewhere in the second week of June or the first week. Oh, dude,
nice.
that little thing, Walker and I have been talking about that because we have a green one in the car that we do exactly what you do. Just use it for like meditation, but we don't do it inside, and so we're all very amazed at your control.
Well, I also, since we'll have you over eventually, but when we redid the kitchen area and living room area, it's all high open ceilings. So throwing this like a few feet up and back is not really a big deal. So
you're not breaking lamps or anything.
And I normally do it in the garage, which have a garage roof. So anyway, but yeah, no, I was going to look at the Robert Downey Jr. thing to see what we when we said that, but I think it was the most logical direction.
You know what I liked today? I read interview with the writers of the Deadpool and Wolverine movie.
Okay,
and two guys I don't recognize their names, but they're obviously professionals. That was a great movie.
Oh, agree. We can talk about that too. I saw that.
They said that they had a scene when Happy is in there and he's talking to Deadpool.
Oh, they had a scene for Robert Downey Jr.
Robert Downey Jr. was in that scene, and they were going to do some funny jokes, and he kept turning them down. And Ryan Reynolds says nobody turns down Ryan Reynolds, and he was just like, "Look, man, I'm really proud of what we did." And he Robert Downey Jr. would not tell them, "No, man, I can't be in your movie because I'm Dr. Doom."
Because I'm Dr. Doom, exactly. Because it would just Well, because
somebody would have talked, right?
100%, or it would have just been weird because I think it would have been weird to have him as Iron Man in there, even if it's just for 10 seconds.
I agree. I mean, his Iron Man thing is done, and Marvel will never shit on that. No, they won't. But I still think we're getting Tom Cruise Iron Man. I really do.
I think they really have an opportunity to go with Secret Wars.
Yeah.
If with Secret Wars, they have an opportunity to do what they tried to do in Flash, except Flash did, here's everything historically that's ever touched this IP. So like, here's Adam West and here's Nicolas Cage when he wore the Superman outfit for Tim Burton in a press thing, like in a screening. Yeah. Whereas Marvel can do the opposite, and they can do the fantasy casting in the opposite direction and just be like, here's the Tom Cruise Iron Man. Here's I don't know. But you can imagine it can go into a million different directions.
Yeah, I mean, they gave us that, right? Here's the Henry Cavill Wolverine, which played like you know, his audition tapes if they're going to do Wolverine again, right?
Right, exactly. Like, oh,
It's
do you want
crazy.
another? Do you want another guy to play him? Well, here's another version that even in 10 seconds on screen, he immediately
Everybody went, okay.
yeah,
That's Wolverine.
he's Wolverine now. Okay, that we're in. Yeah, no, it was it was
They even got
surprisingly.
Mimi, who like doesn't care, but he did the whole like
Oh
thing from
yeah,
Mission Impossible, and she was like, "Yes, please, that's
yeah.
Wolverine. I'm down."
And I like that my favorite part is no mustache, beard. So it's like like the flip reverse of like the Mission Impossible where he had to have the mustache but no beard. And then the Superman drama. It's just like the one thing that amazed me about that movie was one, how they got the language stuff through. I guess we'll just talk about the Deadpool Wolverine stuff because
let's why not? We were waiting all San Diego for that. We were like, when can we see it? And then we ended up seeing it like a week after because we're old.
Yeah. But before I jump into that, isn't it crazy that it's kind of gone and out of like the public discussion a little bit right now?
Yes and no. I mean, I think that we had a really hot laser-like discussion of it for a week or two. And I think that's just how it is now. Because it's just so much content, man. It's like nobody talks about anything anymore.
It was just amazing that it burnt so bright for when it was it was everywhere. Every commercial on television, like every commercial. Like if you were buying like a pizza, it was a Deadpool and Wolverine pizza. If it was, if you're buying if you're updating your cell phone, it's the Deadpool Wolverine cell phone. I mean, from a marketing standpoint, the marketing was crazy. But the thing that blew me away about it, to flip it in, is with the language that they pushed through in a Disney movie. Like,
yeah, but this is the one where they were going to be able to get away with it because they had they had two movies of the world going, all right, you get this one.
Yeah. Right? Oh, I agree. I agree. Yeah.
There's that meme that says, right, that they said fuck in one X-Men movie.
Yes.
And then they said it 174 times in this movie.
Yeah. Some crazy number.
Something like that. So it's like, and then the whole stuff about, Kevin Feige says we can't do cocaine jokes. Except there was 10 minutes of Kevin Feige cocaine jokes, right?
Oh, exactly.
So obviously, Disney gets what they're doing with this IP, right?
Well, you know what it is? I think they look at it from a sense of they never really have tried to do an R-rated Marvel movie. They've dabbled in it. If you think about it, like historically, like, okay, Blade is an R-rated. I think Blade is R-rated. It might be PG-13.
Yeah, anything you could come up with are all sort of like after-the-fact examples or nice
Punisher,
try, right?
Old Punisher, Blade. Nothing has been in the whole, the Renaissance, Iron Man to now, right? Mm-hmm. None of it. And then anything that's ever been kind of edgy, the Jessica Jones stuff, maybe the first season of Daredevil, the first season of Punisher, but that's TV. So they've never done it on the screen. And I think the formula was just right for this one, to make this one the R-rated one,
Well, the other two Deadpools were R-rated movies.
Right.
So it's not like they were doing this wild experiment, right?
The first one was a wild experiment.
No, I mean, yeah, but it made $750,000.
Oh, for sure.
Of $1 billion in February as a rated R. So like, okay, that wasn't an experiment. That was just like, we don't have anything for February, and it just hit giant.
Yeah,
it's perfect. And so then they did the other one, and so this one, of course, was going to be R. But I thought it was cool. They try to make it seem like the R is for violence, but it's really for the language.
Oh, it's for the language. Although,
the violence is so cartoonish. It's like, oh, there's a guy with his head off. It doesn't even read as like some kind of gory thing. It just reads like cartoon violence, right?
Correct. But but the most interesting part is, so my mom and my sister went to go see it. My dad hasn't seen it because my dad just is not a movie. He's like watch it on TV. I think he's seen like Ant-Man like a million. Every time Ant-Man is on TV, he watches Ant-Man. That's like one of his favorite ones.
Yeah, rightly so.
Yeah. But so like the big thing with this one is like, you're gonna have to see this in the theater, because you seeing it on TV, you're gonna like. I cannot imagine the TV version of this movie.
Yeah.
Which I think is gonna hurt it long term, because you're gonna. It's a great example of a movie that I think could build up your like owning on a DVD or a Blu-ray, or like owning the media version of this movie is going to be a big seller, I think.
Yeah, I hope so.
Because it's one of those things that I'm interested to see what they cut, if they ever did like a deleted scenes, because that's probably nutso. And I don't know. I thought it was great. I text you and Mark as I walked out. I was like, this movie was spectacular.
The thing I loved, speaking of your dad, was that you like ran through the whole San Diego with him.
Oh,
I got such joy out of that little anecdote from you that I told both Mimi and Walker at separate times.
That's funny.
I was like, and I told them different versions of it, but I was like, Steve had like a blast with his dad that you're never gonna have. And he's like, what? He's like, I'm always gonna be at a San Diego that you're at until I die, and then you can't talk to me. So like, I would love to just hear like you telling me all the cool shit from San Diego. I would just love that.
Well, again, I always talk about this because the perspective is like my dad taking me to a comic convention 30 something years ago at like a Sheridan conference room.
Yeah.
With like 6 tables of 6 people selling comic books, and maybe a Marvel artist or someone who happened to live in New Jersey. That would, so it's like, that's the convention he would take me to. And that was like a big deal, just to even have that in my town. So like the fact that to then go to San Diego Comic-Con,
the big
where
one,
my dad has been to that convention center for like work related stuff, but not the full
like that.
No. And he's just, the math doesn't make sense. It really doesn't. And that's the thing I always try to, like, you don't understand how big this thing is to then understand that they take over the entire upstairs. They take over the entire outside. They take over every lobby of every hotel in the area. They take over the gas lamp. They have boats. They have shit on boats because they don't have enough space. It's just maddening. And you have to experience it once. You have to try to get tickets. You have to try to go at least once. That's what I say.
We should get him out here next year.
I will try to, even if it's for a day, because I think after a day, my dad would just be like, it would like,
like what now?
It would be a blur.
I know what my dad would do. He'd walk from one end to the other and go, that's a lot of people.
That's
just leave.
Yeah. I mean, my parents are in Disney right now. And I'm like, what are you going to Disney for? You go to Disney, they go to Disney like twice a year. And honestly, they go to just like people watch. So I'm like, just hang out and have, they go to the pool, they go to the park, they'll pick a ride or two that they go on. Nothing, there's like, their way of doing that is like zero stress, which is like the best way to do it. Where it's like, they're not also not super young. So they're not scrambling to get on every ride in the park. They're like, oh, that's new, we should go see that. And when you're going to like an amusement park, Disney park, and the only thing you're going is to do one ride over the course of like 8 hours.
You're chill.
Yeah, you're pretty chill. So
that's
anyway,
fantastic.
But no, the one thing when I did talk to my dad about the Deadpool and Wolverine that I thought was interesting is I actually said to him, all of those Wolverine X-Men comics you bought me over the years, that Deadpool Wolverine is the first time I've ever seen Wolverine on screen.
Yeah, I totally get that.
I've seen versions of like Logan on screen, but that was the first time I ever saw like Logan tried to do a little bit of it, but that was the first time I ever saw him like, I'm just gonna kill everyone and just like that's how we get out of this. So let's just kill everything and just move on.
I just love the whole like it was the Wolverine superhero for once.
100%.
Like Mimi and I got into kind of a funny thing when we were talking about it that Walker got and she just didn't, because I was like getting like really like emotional about the fact that he looks exactly like a fucking John Byrne drawing.
Oh,
And
it's unreal.
And she was like, I'm like, no, it's fucking exact. This is awesome. This is the best day of my life. And she's like, haha. And I'm like, no, you don't get it. And it actually took me a day to figure out how I could explain it to her that she would get it. But now you and Chuck and Chris are going to hear this. And anybody else who happens to hear. But when I was like 13 and I got a cold, I'm just gonna I missed the day off from school, but I'm gonna miss the next one too. It's kind of a bad cold. It's the wintertime in Vermont, New Jersey. Sometimes you get these colds.
Yeah, for sure.
So my dad, who just didn't care about pop culture or anything, is like, knows his kid's gonna be home sick, so he comes back from work that first day with like 10 comics. He just stopped off at the comic place. His son's sick. Here, you're gonna read some of them comics, right? Thanks, Dad. I love you. Okay, great. One of those comics was X-Men 109, which I had no idea what X-Men was.
Okay.
It's the first appearance of Vindicator, right?
Yes, it is.
So first Alpha Flight. And it's fucking John Byrne being inked by Terry Austin and Tom Orrs on letters. It's just fucking perfect comics. And so I had my 10 or 15 comics and I read them all, but that was definitely the standout. So I just read that one, and like months go by and I'm getting Savage Sword in the back. They have all those ads for back issues. X-Men 109 is $20. All my other comics are like $1,
right,
75 cents. This one's $20. I'm like, what the fuck? And I do a little reading. Oh, first Vindicator.
Yep.
All right, that's cool. And so then Wolverine's in that. There's a cool little thing where he's going to go shoot a deer, but it's just a picture and he touches it and he's doing his superhero stuff that he can get up to a deer without scaring it. And I'm like, fucking this Wolverine guy is fucking great. And then I read all, like everyone, I read all the X-Men and it's just amazing. But there's just something about how John Byrne draws those crazy boots,
yes,
those weird ass ears, and it all just doesn't seem like it could work, and it does. And then to see that in live action with a guy who's played him for 22 years or whatever, just flipped my little brain. It just was like, how cool to be an old man to see this with my family, or my dad gave me the comic that fucking started it all. Really,
it's awesome.
There was like, I was reading comics, but that was the one that got me really into superheroes. Was the Byrne and Claremont X-Men.
Yeah,
but the cool thing was I only read those for a couple of years, and I'm like Cerebus and ElfQuest and what else was I reading? It was called Love and Rockets.
Oh, sure.
I was like Mr. Independent guy.
Yeah.
But I still read John Byrne doing FF and whatever, his Next Men and stuff, because that guy can draw.
Yeah. No,
anyway.
And the beauty of it is, if I remember correctly, like what I always loved about Wolverine is the way they always did his ears. Do we call them ears? I don't know. Like, I thought it was like
supposed to be, right?
But it was always, if I remember correctly, back in those comics, it was always like generic black. So it never really, it kind of almost was just like, there was never any like crazy shading on it. It was just like these black, like waves up, kind of. If I remember correctly, I have that, but I got to dig that book out. But
back then, he definitely drew it like that. After Cockrum, he like did his cool Byrne stylizing on it. But like in the early days, do you remember they were just blue?
Oh, right. Yes.
And they had that weird whisker line. So that's why I called them ears, because there was like the snout and it had to be ears.
But right? when Hugh Jackman put the mask on,
dude, that was great.
And even like Ryan Reynolds, because that's not Deadpool, that's Ryan Reynolds as a fan, like reacting to him putting the mask on. Like that's not even a Deadpool line. That's just like a fan line. Deadpool's like, holy, like
finally. That's what we're here for.
Like, that would be like, but think about it. That would be like making a Batman movie and never putting the cowl on him. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, yes, I do, because I sort of got the vibe from the first 3 Fox X-Men. It's Legend of the Lone Ranger, right? It's like, yeah, okay, that's the whole story of the Lone Ranger, but you don't put the mask on the guy until the last third of the movie? Like, no. And then we didn't even see the mask until that the Wolverine one.
Oh,
right?
until the Wolverine, where it's in the like, yes,
it's in the trunk.
It's in a suitcase, which again, it's also like tease us till the end, because that's
Not just that shot, like you see the gloves better than you see the mask, right?
Yeah.
And it's a quick shot. So I was like, I remember in the theater, I bought it just so I could look at it. But I remember in the theater, like looking at the gloves and going, okay, it's got the things. And then I just look over to the mask and then they cut the scene. And I'm like, oh, that's not going to work.
Well, but think about that, though. Think of what they did with the Wolverine character for all these years. Like, it was almost like a tease. You might get another one. You might get another one. You might get another one. You might get every single time.
Yeah.
And then finally, it's just like, we're going to do Deadpool and Wolverine. You're going to be Wolverine. He's Wolverine the whole movie. Like, he is, and it's just, it was, I feel like I have to see it again, because I feel like the one viewing didn't do it justice in my head. And I liked all the cameos, and no spoiler alert. I thought the cameos. I thought they picked the perfect people in it to be the others. There were so many options you had there, and I think they nailed it with the ones that they picked, because I don't think they picked anyone that was too. I don't want to. This is going to sound wrong, but I didn't think they picked anyone that was too significant. But
yeah, I totally know what you mean. They're not overshadowing why we're there in the first place, right?
Right. It was the right mix. It was like, okay, Blade, you kind of started it. You kind of started the Marvel movies, if you really want to think about it in the grand scheme of things. You're like the first successful R-rated superhero movie. So Blade, Elektra was in 2 Daredevil movies, so that's kind of a significant kind of like the first female superhero 2-movie character. Channing Tatum is essentially like him as Gambit is essentially like Ryan Reynolds releasing the footage of like him playing Deadpool. So he's like, I'm going to release the footage of you as Gambit in my movie. Maybe we can make something happen to that. And then it's just like, it was really smart, just the characters that they picked.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I was impressed with that.
I think
go on.
It's not just that, but all those characters meant something, like you said, to the movies, but it also meant something to the audience as well, right?
Sure.
I mean, like, I fucking love that Chris Evans showed up again as Johnny Storm, and he was a dick.
Yes,
because that's what would happen to Johnny. Johnny's kind of a mild dick anyway. Right. And you throw him in the void or whatever they call it, and yeah, he's gonna be an asshole. And I just thought that was great.
And the final post-credit scene I thought was perfect too, because it was like exactly to your point. It was like, yeah, that's that character in a nutshell there, which I thought was pretty funny. It was. I think I pinged you after. I thought the little homage they did to the 20th Century Fox was pretty cool too. I thought that was.
Yeah, I mean, everything was. I think that was a great movie, but I think also that's why people aren't talking about it. Because what do you say? It's just 2 hours of like it's like this Governor Waltz guy, right? It's just like everybody's been so bummed for the last 10 years that to have some guy going, yeah, I'm a monster. I want to feed the kids. And like none of their stuff works on him. And it's because it's Ryan Reynolds. It's like, yeah, you guys all love the Jim from The Office is, Reed Richards. Watch this.
Right.
Get all my friends.
Yeah.
The people who aren't in it actually have a good excuse why they're not. Robert Downey Jr.
Right. Exactly. Well, it is interesting because for all the, let's say, good press that is getting, I am reading some really horrible things about the Borderlands movie.
I just saw one thing that it's got 0% on the Rotten Tomatoes critics right now.
But the one thing I keep on reading and the one thing I keep on seeing is just like Eli Roth might be a decent director, but cannot write a movie. And I think it's funny that you would have a game that really. I played the game, and I played it again when the movie got announced recently, like a couple months ago when the first trailer came out. I was like, oh, that was a really fun game. Story-wise, I was just like, oh, I don't care about the story. It's just shooting things and collecting. Like the whole, it's just a weird thing. But the fact that it's getting like panned before it's even out, Or did it come out? Did it come out today? I don't even know when it comes out.
I don't know. I just started seeing some stuff about it. I'm sure I'm gonna love it because I've never played the game. I don't care about games at all, and
Right.
that looks hilarious.
Yeah,
I just feel like about Fallout, the Fallout TV show. I watched that. I have no idea if that is like the game or not, but I was very entertained.
yeah. So it looks like Chuck got tickets for it.
Yep,
So
good.
we'll be looking for Chuck's feedback on it.
Chuck,
yeah,
you going with the whole movie crowd, or are you just going by yourself? I don't know. I'm sure he's going with his buddies. He has a movie crowd. They're awesome. I'm sure I sent you guys door court pins. They have their own little. They do their own little stuff to go.
Oh, that's so cool.
Pins and shit.
Yeah, the crew. He's going with the crew.
Yeah,
that's amazing.
That's cool. Yeah, tell us how that is. I love Cate Blanchett. I love wisecracking robots. I love.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm gonna love it.
They made, if you play the game, there's a character called, I think it's like Mad Moxie or Mad Maxie or something like that. I think it's Moxie, and it's Gina Gershon, which is who my brain has always put in that role.
Oh, that's cool.
So that's kind of cool. I said, other than that, I don't really. It'll be one of those things I'll catch. You know what it is? It's like not high on my list to see, but definitely something that I'll catch. You know, I'll probably find a version of it floating around online, and I'll probably, you know,
admitting the pirate stuff. Huh?
Yeah. Well, you know, that's how it, you know. That's how
Chuck says he's gonna like it because he doesn't game either. But
yeah, I mean, and Jack Black as the robot, that'll be funny. So that'll be
seems kind of everybody's giving him shit about that, and I was like, what? Like that? Jack Black seems like he was born to be a wisecracking robot in the post.
Oh God, yes,
you know?
Yeah, that's a no-brainer for me at least. Well, speaking of the upcoming movies, am I buying tickets for Romulus? Do you want to see Romulus?
I do.
Okay.
What do you mean? Like,
do you want me
to try to get too scary? Is that kind of thing?
I know Walker's not a big. I know. Is that a Walker? Is that a movie?
Let me ask him, right? Because he loves aliens.
Okay.
But he hasn't seen the first Alien yet, and just for no reason. But let's watch the first Alien, and I'll go. Look, this Romulus is going to be a little more like this one.
Yeah.
And there's going to be a lot more jump scares. There's going to be a lot. It looks like the face raping they're putting it in the trailer, man.
Yeah. They're not even like
they're being pretty overt about that.
Well, I'm just I have now read. Well, I've been watching and reading all of the interviews with the director.
What's his name? Felix
Fede Alvarez or something. Fede. I don't know how you pronounce it. I probably should listen how you pronounce it. But he was just like all of these interviews and him essentially saying like, it will only be in my movie if it's practical. So everything the actors are seeing is like right in front of their face, spraying in their face.
You can tell when the trailer shot when this girl's holding somebody that's got the alien wrapped around her neck, and then it sprays blood in her face. You can tell she didn't like that.
Oh yes, for sure. Yeah, because I guarantee because there's probably
that was like a visceral reaction and not like, "Ooh, allow me to show you my Juilliard stuff." She was just like, "Oh shit."
Yeah, no, exactly.
They probably made it smell bad or something.
Yeah. And like we said, like I think a week or two when we were talking about these, or now maybe like 3 weeks ago, is like I really like the premise of this one. Like I like the idea of what this movie is, because when I first saw the cast of what it was, I was like, oh, I don't get this. I don't know what it is. But that first trailer, man, that hooked me on it. Like I'm like, okay, man, this is perfect. This is
I'm with you. I just really like the story reason that they go back to all the cool graphics and design that from the first, because that was all made back then, right? This is from back then.
Yes,
I just fucking love everything about that.
Yeah, I mean, and it's no knock on like Prometheus and all those, because the other thing, like I was having a conversation with what's that?
I said, go ahead and knock those.
Oh well, no, but Prometheus is a weird one, but you got to realize like Prometheus is like if you could do space travel with all the money you could ever imagine in the world. So it's so high end it's like the most upper echelon money spending you could ever imagine. So like imagine every lever in your spaceship is now like $1 million lever, as opposed to like in Alien or Aliens or even in Romulus, it's like, what's the cheapest thing we can manufacture and just put in here? Do you know what I mean?
I do, and I think you're right, but that's like people not getting what you liked about the original thing. Right?
Oh, right. Well,
Like everybody likes the space truckers and
correct.
Fucking ground pounding soldier guys.
Correct.
Like
no one cared about the
no one. Charlize Theron doing push-ups as soon as she gets out. Like, no, I don't care.
Yeah. Oh, anyway. Yeah. Anyway, but
Romulus, here's the important thing, though.
So San Diego Comic-Con. So here's a great story. I think this is a good little San Diego story. We happen to be at San Diego. We're behind the booth. 3 gentlemen come walking past that are in wonderful, wonderful Alien head-to-toe replicas that they've made. And I happened to stop them, and I was like, hey, guys, just wanted to say your costumes, your, cosplay. I don't think I said that. I was like, the Alien, the shit looks great. And they were like, oh, thanks, man. Yeah, we're going to try. And at the time, they were going to try to head over to Hall H. And we ended up chatting a little bit. And during the conversation, we brought up one gentleman that I follow on Instagram, which I think I shared with you, Larry, the Nostromo crew.
Yeah.
If you're not following them, find them on Instagram. They're fascinating.
I've known that guy forever. That's Ezekiel from the RPF.
Okay.
That's awesome. He's the one that actually helped me with the Nostromo iron-on the back of the jacket I did.
Oh, sick. Okay, that's even better.
Yeah,
but they were like, hey, and then we just chatted. He gave me his business card. He's one of the other guys. And they were like, cool. Awesome. Those 3 guys got to go to Hall H and then afterwards interviewed the director.
Oh, that's amazing. How cool is that?
Because then they posted all the pictures online because I happened to be following them. And they got to meet the director, and I believe they were asking about the hat, and there was no hat given out at Comic-Con, but they did give out the face hugger mask thing.
That's all we wanted, though. It was just give us that hat. What is the matter with you? And they're like, oh no, look at these stuffed animal aliens with eye holes. You can wear it as a mask, and I'm like, yeah, that looks like it's for a child.
Right?
Can I have the hat, please?
Yeah. Well, anyway, if you haven't, Nostromo crew is doing a pretty solid on replica, which I know you ordered it, Larry, right?
I did.
I also did. I have not seen a shipping date yet, but I'm waiting. I will wait every day until it shows up.
I'm getting the link for Chuck right now.
Oh, nice.
But I have some misgivings about this hat because they just used a gray one, the gray trucker's hat.
Yes. And
it's clearly gray in the front and dirty white in the back. And so I kind of sad, but that patch is perfect. So
yeah,
I'll just dirty it up and that'll be my Corbelan hat. That's fine. But like everything, I'm like, man, just go just this much further and then it's perfect. But then I started looking at the director, Alvarez. Mm-hmm. I started looking at I have 3 pictures of him wearing that hat from when he did a press conference. And the patch is like really shitted up.
Yes. So I think the hat is like totally damaged up big time.
Yeah, and I also think that it's not even, I think that's from the set. I don't think that's supposed to be like somebody's costume. I think that's actually just something they did because it looks a lot like Parker's that was made out of paper because they punched the thing through it.
Right.
So I don't think it's made out of paper, but it's not. It looks like they printed it onto fabric instead of embroidered it.
Got it.
So I'm like, that made me feel better about the Nostromo crew's hat because they just made like the Thinking Cap Company hat that I'm in love with that we found in Alameda.
Yes.
That's not exact either. So I'm like, well, this is just the idealized version. So I went from like being all snooty for about 45 minutes to going, dude, what are you doing? Just buy the hat.
Yeah. Well, my thing is like, unless I'm unless I'm, willing to wait for Prop Store of London to have one for that like fell off of like, one of the cast
you and me
heads.
fighting it over for $30,000.
Exactly.
Our wives are mad.
Yeah. So until we're there, I'll roll with that one, and then it'll,
my big thing is I had to stop myself from buying 2 shoulder patches for the shirt I'm gonna make, but like I was like, you know what? They'll have those after the movie comes out and we see what stuff looks like. Because I don't want to just buy some crap and put it on a Nostromo shirt.
Well,
although hopefully they do that, right?
Yeah. Well, I that's one thing I'm very interested in, because I'm interested to see the costumes and what people are wearing, because like that's my favorite thing of the first Alien is like what people are wearing.
Yeah, absolutely.
And this one will be kind of the same. Like even the character that is the android is like I'm trying to figure out what that sweatshirt jacket thing he's wearing is, because I'm like, that is awesome.
I gotta get one of those.
I need that. And the shoes are just, they're being released when the Alien movie comes out. They're just $170.
Yeah. So
I'm like, I don't know if I need those, but I probably do. So
I don't, because I have Bishops, and Mimi would just be. It's a very similar design. Mimi would just be, what are you doing, man? So I probably, people are sending me the links to it because I get crazy. People know I'm crazy about Ripley's boots from Aliens, because I say that every April 27th.
Yeah, why aren't they releasing these again?
Do you guys not like money? Just fucking make these.
You own them. You can just manufacture them.
I think they think nobody wants them.
You know what?
I would never take those off.
I wonder what the threshold is for something like that, because I can't imagine, like, even if you did like a limited run.
Well, they did. That's the thing.
Well, right. And I think like they don't want, but why wouldn't you you're going to wait till the 50th anniversary to do it again?
I just don't. Why isn't that not a shoe you can buy all the time? Right. I can get Florsheim Chelsea boots right now in 2024 that haven't changed from the late 50s. And they've used them in Star Treks forever.
Right.
So I know I have screen accurate Star Trek boots, the short ones that I can get at any time. Like, it just seems to me, those are like, they have snake. Do you know what snakebite boots are? You've seen those. So remember my janky Iron Man I did?
Yeah.
I had those like plastic shells that go around your shin. I painted silver.
Yes. Yeah, I totally know.
Yeah, snake bite guards, right?
Yes, correct.
After getting into that, there's all these high-end snake bite boots, like made out of leather and buckles and cool ass shit, that if you're in the snake area, you want to look pretty stylish and not die, right?
Sure,
and
right.
Every one of those boots look like it's something from a science fiction movie. So I'm like, I don't even care about the Ripley sneakers anymore. I'm just going to buy snake bite boots all the time. And like, I'm going to find a really nice set of black ones, and that's going to be my new Santa boots this year.
Oh, there you go. That's awesome.
Yeah, man. Snake bite boots. That's my new thing.
All right, snake bite boots. I mean, that's what they're called online. I was just
yeah. I'm sure.
Great. Yeah, I was just like, okay, that's pretty interesting. Here, hold on. Let me see if I can share so we can share with people. Present. This broke the other day when we were trying to do it, so I want to.
There's like camouflage ones. They look like Romulan stuff, but then there's just, cool ass cowboy boot looking ones.
Oh, not a boot strap, just a boot.
Yeah, just boots. And there's some like just look like, anti-bear things. It's just bananas. And then there's fashionable stuff and, superhero things and
like these, like the kind of like these things.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, they're cool. Like stuff like that.
Yeah, anyway. That waterproof pull-on snake boot. Like you're like, that looks like something you would wear.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah, I love the prop stuff. That's like my, again, I'm putting it out in the world, and it didn't come to fruition. I don't know if I said this online, but I was like, I wanted to find something from the Alien movie. I wanted to find I want a piece of an alien. That is my goal. Okay. but I did change my posters up. So I did put my Alien, the new Alien poster up, which is, it looks good. I had to roll it out a little bit and flatten it, but it's
Walker's he bought the Fast Times at Ridgemont High one.
Did he put it up yet?
Thank you. So, but no, he's trying to figure out what he's going to do with it, because he unfolded it, and Mimi goes, "Why isn't it rolled?" We were like, and then he was like, "Yeah, why isn't it?" And I'm like, "Remember, in the old days, it was very rare to have a rolled one.
Correct.
The folded ones from the old days are fucking awesome."
Yeah, you want the folds.
She saw what was happening, and she went, "Oh yeah, this is the good one, Walker."
Yeah. You know, hold on, let me see. Folded. Okay, all of my posters are folded except for my scanners, which is rolled.
Yeah, all of mine were folded, but I had a Return of the Jedi one that was rolled.
Well, I have that Star Wars one, which I'll do something with eventually. But
by the time we got to Return of the Jedi, I knew the movie guys.
Oh, so you did, yeah.
Because I was getting my picture taken dressed as Spock and stuff like that, you know. So I was like, "Hey man, like, could I get the rolled version of this?
The one you put in the one you put the one you put in the outside of the movie theater? Yeah, that's cool. Back to Deadpool Wolverine, and maybe you can help me with this, or maybe someone out in the listening, maybe Chuck or Chris can help us. In Deadpool Wolverine, Gambit fights a guy with the red and white striped shirt. Do we know who that guy is? I don't know who that guy is. Is he a character or just a random baddie?
I wasn't watching that closely, so I missed it. I was just grooving on the fact that Channing Tatum was in that movie dressed as Gambit, because he was trying to do that thing for so long, and he finally got a little fucking vindication. I think.
Oh, for sure. Oh, I think you
all
put
the
him
people, man. Like, you seen the fans going, "Oh, he sucks because he's so thick," Fucking Gambit's a skinny guy. I'm like, he's wearing a shirt with a rubber thing on it with a trench coat, and all the drawings it's
him.
Gambit are like, they look like that because that's what drawings look like. If you do that to a person, it's the same thing with Iron Man. Like, Robert Downey Jr. is not wearing all that shit.
Correct.
It's trimmed down, and that's why it looks like nanotech or whatever.
Right.
Because
if you put him in it, he'd be like, right.
Yeah.
Well, and it's also like, my argument to that is, you got over the idea that Wolverine needed to be this little short guy,
right?
And they showed it in the movie, which I thought was
made it look ridiculous, right?
And it was like, oh, okay, that's what you guys wanted.
Yeah,
okay, cool.
You don't want that.
That's what you wanted. Yeah. which honestly, now that I think about it, in the pacing of the movie, made sense. If you were gonna bash like Gambit later, he's like, no, we're gonna put Wolverine in his costume. We're gonna put Gambit in it. Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, okay. All right. So Chuck is saying he's a character, but I forgot which one. I read a wrestler played him in an X-Men film. Okay, so here's my question. Is he the bad guy that Thomas Jane fights in Punisher? Is that the character that Kevin Nash played, where he gets stabbed in the chest in the Thomas Jane Punisher? I was just trying to figure out, because there are cameos in that movie of those random people that people haven't dived deep into yet, that they put other characters and people from other movies in as well. So anyway, thank you, Chuck, for that. We will see.
Yeah, it gives us a thing to look at.
Yeah, I will do some more research on that.
Thomas Jane freaking out at San Diego at our booth one year just sort of colored me on all his work. But I've seen that bootleg version of Punisher with the laundromat.
The laundromat with Ron Perlman. Yeah.
That's great. I love that. So good on you, Thomas Jane.
Well, I liked him doing that, and I'm okay with what's his name, the Walking Dead guy doing the Baby Driver guy. Can't think what it's John Bernthal. Is that his name?
Yeah,
as Punisher. He's cool as Punisher. I'm fine with that.
He's in Baby Driver.
Isn't he in Baby Driver?
John Hamm is. Maybe he is. I don't know. Maybe he is. John Barenthal, he's in The Accountant with Ben Affleck. I know
Hold
that.
on. I'm pretty sure he's in Baby Driver. Let me see.
He's in The Bear.
He is. He's Grip in Baby Driver. I don't know. You can ask Walker.
I gotta watch it again. Yeah, Walker would know. That's one of his favorite movies.
I thought he was one of the guys in the car in the beginning of the movie. I might be wrong.
Here, Chuck's telling you, yeah, Nash said he wasn't happy that someone else played the character, but he says he's too old to play it now. So.
Oh, there you go. Okay, so it is the character. So there's the homage to Punisher. So it was just like, they really tried to like touch every 20th Century Fox Marvel property, which was interesting. So cool.
I was bummed that Ray, what's his name, wasn't the Toad.
Ray Park?
Ray Park wasn't the Toad. It was some other dude.
Yeah, that was weird.
I was like,
I'm sure he could use the money.
Ray Park, man.
Well, I mean, it's funny because they get Tyler Mane to do Sabretooth.
They did, yeah.
And he was walking, and he was walking through Comic-Con like no one knew. And I'm like, this guy's in the new he's in the trailer. And he's walking around Comic-Con and no one's even bothering him.
Yeah, but he doesn't look like Sabretooth, right? He's just some big guy.
I mean, as I always say, I always tell this to the girls. If you see a gentleman that's walking around that's almost 7 feet tall, he's either a professional athlete or he's an actor of some kind, or he does
bodyguard.
Yeah, so it's like he is someone. So you gotta just, I don't know. It was shocking to see him walk around, but again, that is one thing about the crowd in San Diego Comic-Con. Like, they will not bother you unless they really know who you are.
Yeah,
everyone's so over polite.
Chill.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway, here I can't really show this, but check this out. I got this right before San Diego. You'll never know because you're not a Star Trek fan.
Okay.
But this is one of the Enterprises. See, it says USS Enterprise.
What? How is that one of the Enterprises?
All
right. What show is that from?
It's not from a show. It just only shows up in a picture on the. Oops. Well. It was only $150. Who cares? So
Chris is having a heart attack. Hold on.
Yeah. Oh my god. In the motion picture, the first one, they have a rec room scene where they have 5 pictures of the Enterprises, right? And there's a sailing ship, and then the space shuttle, and then this thing, and then the Enterprise. Oh, there's the aircraft carrier. Space shuttle, then this thing, and then the movie Enterprise. And so it's the third pick in the rec room. Exactly.
That is crazy.
So it was just this thing. It's like Star Trek does that all the time, right? It's like, you're people who it's always the third thing, right? Oh, you're people, Alexander the Great, Hitler, Lee Kwan. There's always some science fiction thing. So it's like this Enterprise, and then this other one that you've never heard of before. It's just cool. And so I always liked it because they've never done anything with it. So I'm like, anyway.
Hold on.
They made a model and I'm all excited and I got it. Nobody cared, so I got it for really cheap. This is
it's from this scene?
Yes, exactly. See where she's standing in front of these 5 pictures?
Yeah, that's cool.
Oh, yeah, see, Chris said it was the 3rd pick, but it's actually the 4th. I did it. This HMS Enterprise, the aircraft carrier Enterprise, the space shuttle,
and
then the XCV. Nobody really knows anything about it, and I'm dying to do like an entire Star Trek about this.
So it's just that picture, is it?
Yes.
See, all right. Now,
Star Trek.
Okay, ready? We've had this conversation multiple times. I love that. I was going to say I effing love that so much because that is my brain. Do you understand? Like this, and we've chatted about this 1,000 times.
That is my brain as well.
It's like that thing in the background that you've now seen this movie 1,000 times, and you're like, and this is the whole picture of the fire, the poster in the Ghostbusters warehouse. It's the
Right,
music
exactly.
playing. It's the music playing on the radio. It's
Exactly.
shit like that in movies that is just like, that's why I love movies.
Well, the older we get, we know that was somebody's job that day. That's what we say, Walker and I, when we're watching TV. It's usually when some actor has to kiss 3 girls in a row. I'll go, hey man, that was that guy's job that day.
Right.
Laugh.
Right.
But it's also, it was probably Mike Okuda's job or Andy Probert. We need 5 pictures to fill up that space. And we got the sailing ship and the space shuttle and the aircraft carrier and our ship. Do another one. We need 5.
Right.
And it probably took them an hour. And the paint was probably still wet when they hung it up and shot that scene. And then 50 years later, Chris actually reminds me, Peter Weller in one of the Star Trek movies plays an admiral. And he has all the ships. They do this cool pan along his office thing. Okay. Where it has all the ships, but they're all these ships from Eagle Moss. So, so that thing, they just painted them white. So they look like, something different from Eagle Moss models. But yeah, Into Darkness. Yeah.
Into Darkness. Okay. I'll find it. I'll find it. I need to see that. Wait, Into Darkness. Is that the Chris Pine one?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, okay, cool.
The second one.
Okay, cool. I'll snoop. That's awesome.
You could probably do XCV Enterprise Into Darkness.
What is it? What ship is it called?
It's the XCV 330.
XCV. I gotta learn to spell. Let me see if that even brings up anything.
Well, there's a whole entry on Memory Alpha about it.
Okay, cool.
Oh, there is. There's a picture of the scene as Chris Pine and Dr.
Peter
Strange
Weller.
No,
Benedict
Cumberbatch. He's
Khan. Yeah.
But
I should watch that again.
An out of focus picture obscuring their faces, which is hilarious.
Oh, well, here's an interesting question from Chuck. How is it to have someone buy your book? Well, one,
absolutely,
yeah, absolutely insane. We'll say that. The fact that anyone bought it was crazy, but people bought it, and and I got to talk to people about it, and it was pretty mind blowing. And met some really great people. A couple of people that I contacted through, people that we were chatting with. Larry got them. It was phenomenal. It's the other side of the coin. Having helped Larry at his booth for all these years, and selling his book, and watching Walker do that, and watching Mark do that, to then have an opportunity to do it was pretty cool. It was a lot of fun, and just chatting movies with people is fun. So it was really, really cool. So thank you for asking, man. That was cool.
That was a big part of the fun that I had, was watching you guys sell your books to people and just have those conversations, because I never take that for granted. I fucking love that every time, and it's just so cool, like watching you guys do it for the first time.
Yeah.
I can't tell you how many times I would watch you talk to somebody and I'm like, oh, that's a cool conversation. I bet Steve's having a good time, and then you try to give him a Matrix.
Oh, yeah.
That was just like the best, because you were like, you always had a great interaction with people, and they were always like, hey, fun to talk to you. And they're about to go, and then you're like, oh no, here's one more funny thing. That's just like, that's perfect, because it's not like everybody's like, oh, I thought we were done. Oh my God, that's hilarious. So you give them a little roller coaster on the way out. And I was just like, man, you're just doing it great. It was cool.
Wow. It was
fun. Had a good time.
Yeah, and I got rid of some copies of The Matrix, which is a blessing in disguise. So
you have to explain.
Oh my God, which I didn't think. I probably should have put one in the one I sent to Marco. Now I feel bad. All right, that's a rain. When I write the second one, he's getting the copy. No doubt.
You have to give me a box of those now, because I'm going to do that.
I'll count however many I give, and you'll have one.
Yeah, give me like a 10 or 15 or something.
Yeah.
I don't need like a whole bin.
You sure?
Although I would send them out.
Yeah,
it's taken me about 10 years to get rid of my 750 Blamos.
Yeah, no. I'll give you a handful. That's a no-brainer.
It's not like I don't have.
Yeah, no. I'll explain that as quick as I possibly can. So long story short, I buy a lot of movies. Now I collect a lot of movies. So I go to a lot of stores that sell like Goodwills and video stores and all these things over the years. And for about 10 years, anytime I would find a copy of The Matrix on DVD, I would grab it. And I would never pay more than $1 for it. So that's the one thing I like to clarify. I don't think I ever paid more than $1 for it. Or when I bought stuff at Goodwill, it'd be like, here's a pile of stuff, So it was,
these.
Yeah, you know what I mean? So
absolutely.
Yeah. So at one point, I realized that, and the goal was, I wanted to do this really cool like shelf, like almost like even behind me, kind of similar to what Larry has next to him over his left shoulder, right shoulder, left shoulder. Yeah, so that bookshelf, that was going to be all Matrix DVDs.
Oh my God, that'd be hilarious.
And it would be like my backdrop, so it would be all Matrix DVDs. I thought that would look so cool. And I had almost 1,000 copies of it. And then I realized that I really didn't have a place to display it. I also transitioned my collecting into more digital. So most of my stuff is now digital. I do have a lot of stuff that's still not digital, but yeah, and then I needed to get rid of them. So what better way to promote my book than getting a free copy of The Matrix on DVD when you get it?
It was so fun to watch because you had that giant pile. And so people would come over and go, what's that? Oh, well, I'm not going to ask. And then they'd have a nice chat with you. And then you'd try to give them a Matrix. And they'd be like, oh, my God, I have to spend another 20 minutes here now because I have to find out what's going on with this.
Yeah. My favorite.
A blast. We had a good time.
Yeah. My favorite is the one guy who came over 4 times for the free copy of The Matrix. That was pretty funny. Me and Walker were just like, I would be like, that guy came over like 3 times. And each time we're giving him, he took like 4 copies of The Matrix. I'm like, hey man, whatever.
What's so awesome about that is he probably thought he was getting something over on you, and you're like,
dude, you have no idea.
Take 5 more, please.
Right, exactly. I was almost convinced to put them all on the free table upstairs. That would be an interesting, like,
oh yeah,
all the free little pamphlets and throwaway things, and then this like pile of 90 Matrix DVDs. People would be like, what the hell is going on over here?
That would be awesome, though. You would get rid of them.
Oh,
the thing about that is, you have to fill out all kinds of paperwork to lay free stuff on the table, right?
Do you really?
Yeah, you can't just put free stuff on there because you can put all your Playboys on there, and some little kid grabs it, and now everyone's in trouble.
I guess that makes sense.
Yeah,
that was really cool at Comic-Con, and we also had an absolute blast with our Alameda portion of the table, which was, as always, one of the highlights of the of the giveaway Alameda pile, which is
that's just fun for us, but it seems like everybody else has a blast too.
It's such a random thing that we do over the past few years, but it actually brings a lot of attention to the table.
It really does.
It just the randomness of things that we have in that little pile. Like even this year, like the board game and like the randomness of that stuff. Anyway,
I really liked because last year I didn't think we were going to beat the guy that bought the Eagle model because he was very excited. But this year, the guy who bought all the Star Wars and the old comics models, like, I don't know who's more excited, him or Mimi. Because I came back and I said, literally, Steve moved every single thing in one of our bins. We came back with an empty bin that was just full of that Alameda flea market stuff.
Yeah.
She couldn't believe it. She's like, those models have been sitting around since we moved in. I'm like, and another 15 years before that.
Yeah. Right.
And it's like, oh, and we got $50 for that. And the dude was like super happy.
Yeah. Again, we'll do the same thing. We'll make sure we both have tubs that we can do that. And then
I kind of feel like next year, like we should just do that. Just like, here's all our stuff. Oh, okay. What about, we're going to talk about this?
Do you want to
ex-girlfriend Spider-Man variants? They were very successful, Chuck. Thank you for asking. It was a very fun part of the show. But yeah, it was very fun. We learned a little something though. We did our certificates of authenticity, and Steve was like, Hey man, one of the things we needed to do for our chat was on the website. If I send people there, there's a link to the movie, but Steve made the thing. There it is. He said, we should have had a QR code that people could just scan it and watch the movie like right there, because that would have sold a few more.
We did extremely well with it.
Great. Yeah, we have a few left if anybody cares. But yeah, that was fun. That was fun. When I came back and I was telling Mimi about the show, and I was like, Steve was the guy. Like, he was like, we weren't even done with Sunday selling those, and you were like, okay, what's the big idea for next year?
Yeah, we gotta have something.
And I was already thinking that, but that's like me, right? So then, of course, Steve, the project manager, was like, yeah, nice try. That's good. What are we doing next year? And that was just such a Mimi thing to say. I told her, and she's like, okay, well, what have you come up with?
Well, we'll think of something. We have time, but I think we have a good mix. I think we have an idea. We discussed it on the ride. I don't know. I'm not the one.
Oh, the Philback book?
Yes.
We haven't talked to them yet about it.
We haven't talked to them, but
yes, who hasn't forgotten that is Walker. He's gonna he's gonna make that happen.
Okay, because I think that is that will make this seem.
Yeah, well, the Spider-Man one is cleaner because we could just do that, and there was nobody. Right. Like the Philback one, we have to get them involved.
Yes. 100%. But again, I think it's a no-brainer, and it's that is something that we will give details as the parties that
as it shapes up. Yeah,
as it shapes up for sure.
One of the funny things, Chuck, that happened about the Angry Girlfriend thing is that a retailer in Florida named Jesse James bought like 5 of them, and he put one on his live stream the Sunday of the show. So we weren't even, you could still come and get some from us.
I didn't know he did that. That's cool.
Yeah. And so he had it going all week, and it ended up going for like $75, I think, $72. I'd have to look. But we were selling them for 20. And so that was cool.
Yeah, it was I
liked it.
Yeah, it was fun. It was a unique thing, and like obviously the certificate movie prop, like the coolest thing about this, if you don't have one and you need to get one, what I thought was the perfect thing, besides the fact that it has like it's legit, is
there's no confusion in the marketplace.
Yeah,
no one is going to think that our little nonsense is the guy who owns it. His slabbed one.
Correct.
Or, and Marvel's not going to think that, we didn't sell 10,000 of them.
Yes.
It's just
although that would have been a feat.
It looks like I might have been able to.
Yeah. I think if we had the ability to promote it in any way, yes, I think it would have
I think
blown up.
Yeah.
But every time
that kind of thing is the nature of the reason it's so dear is because it can't be a big thing that everybody has.
Correct.
So
it has to be, you kind of have to see it and know it, and then it's similar to like the pile of Matrix DVDs at the booth. It's one of those things where
what is this?
What is this, and what is going on?
And then when you tell them, people went, "That's cool. Thanks for the story." And then they would leave, but the other 2 people that would be like, Walker tell it would be like, "I need to have one."
Right.
So that was fun, and I did say that we're used to selling original graphic novels, right? Nobody's buying 5 of those at a time, right? 3 or 4 people aren't listening to me to pitch it all at once. So it was really cool to have that experience. I'm not sure I would be set up for that. The velocity of people who cared was just perfect for me.
I agree. Like if it was, I think if you multiplied that by 10, it might have.
I would have started getting a little stressed.
It would have been a little. Well, listen. At one point, we had every single copy that we had out on the floor.
Yeah, that's true.
So, like, there was an opportunity for us to be leaving with none, which
yeah, I mean,
I didn't count, the beginning.
I only think we have 10 or 12 left.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Well, I know a guy who has 5. and I know another guy who has 5. So
you guys still have your 5? Because
I'm keeping them. I'm keeping them for now.
I sent 5 to Marco.
Oh, you did?
I sent 5 to Randall Armstrong because he helped me with solidifying the project a little. Just like how I was gonna do it. And he was there. Everything that's cool about it was something he reminded me to do.
Oh, that's awesome.
It would have been perfect if he had said, do a QR code too to the movie.
Yeah, but listen, I think
we can I don't know if I'm gonna do that for the 10 or 12 that are left, but
yeah. Well, I think
but we should have. It's good to remember for next time.
These things are more of like as I'm promoting the young man as a film director, having something that he can give people that's like, here's my reel right now.
Yeah.
But we got time for next year. I'm already I'm already writing stuff down that I think we could do. So
nice.
we're it's funny, you leave and then it takes about a week for your brain to decompress of being there. Also shaking the cobwebs out of whatever convention COVID crud you get. And then again, it's all like, I mean, like you said, you're taking naps now. So like,
dude, that last week, I had an hour and a half nap every day last week. I felt like I was 75 years old.
Yeah.
It's just, that was a long, your energy level is just up here for like 5 days straight.
Yeah.
And it's a big swing for somebody like me that just is in my house all year long. And I talk to my wife and my kid and get groceries and the FedEx guy.
Right.
But then you're like, oh, I have to talk to 150,000 people about Star Trek and comics and all the stuff I love.
Yeah.
And it's not a drag. You don't want to not do it.
Right.
It's just that I haven't trained for it.
Right.
But now, like this year was my 29th year, so I was really ready for it. I think this was our best one, honestly.
I mean, it's the most fun I've had in one in a very long time.
The most fun I've had in a while.
Yeah.
It's hard to beat those early days.
I can't imagine. Yeah.
But this was definitely the best one in a while. It was super fun, and I didn't cause any problems, which I would cause my own problems sometimes. And
yeah, this was, as I don't know if everyone knows Larry 6.0. So this is like, we're in a new phase. This is the return of the Renaissance Larry. It's really nice.
I'm glad they got this Governor Waltz guy up, and so I can say, look, I started it. I'm not going to play with all this nonsense that's going to go on. We're just going to do cool shit.
You're
and it worked out.
Well, I think that's a good ending point.
Good way to,
but know that future ideas for next year's San Diego Comic-Con booth, we're always looking for things that you think might be a good, eye grabber for next year. Although we did like some, the Star Trek Away Team people coming, that was really cool. The Angry Girlfriend, really cool. And next year, the Philback thing that we're going to try, that'll be cool.
We're definitely going to do Quatloos again, but make them like sort of cocktail napkin size.
Yeah.
Poster size. Somebody on the Away Team gave me that idea, and I was like, that's a good idea.
I think that's cool. That was and
so I'll have my Star Trek book next year too. So we'll have something for the Star Trek guys. So I don't know, maybe I bring a spacesuit or something like I used to. That's always good.
Let's do something fun. So
throw
awesome.
Well, anyway, thanks Steve for talking. I'm sorry we missed Mark, but Mark did 3 trade shows in 3 weeks. So
I'm surprised he's alive.
I can't do anything but thank him for taking a week off to fucking work.
Yeah.
But hopefully he had a blast too. I'm pretty sure.
Oh, he did. We all had a good time this year. So awesome. Well, thank you everyone for jumping on and listening to us ramble for over an hour. And until we do this again next week, I guess.
Sounds good.
Awesome, man. Later, Larry.
See you.